The Great Hall of Horizon 7 Station stretched wide enough to hold 5,000 beings from across the galaxy. Today it was packed full. Commander Jiho stood at the center platform, his blue uniform neat and pressed. Behind him his crew waited quietly. Science Officer Hana held a data tablet, her fingers ready to display information. Security Chief Taiyang stood with his arms crossed, watching the crowd carefully. Jiho looked up at the circular rows of seats that rose high above him. Hundreds of alien species filled those seats. Some floated in special tanks. Others needed breathing masks. A few glowed with their own light. The Galactic Council had gathered for the annual Species Integration Summit. And today was humanity's turn to present their homeworld data. Honored Council members, Jiho began, his voice carried by speakers to every corner of the hall. We come before you to submit Earth's official classification for the Galactic Database. A tall alien with 6 arms gestured from the high seats. This was Council Speaker Ven. Proceed, human. We have reviewed your preliminary data. It should be a simple matter. Hana tapped her tablet. Behind Jiho, a massive holographic display appeared. It showed Earth blue and white and green, spinning slowly. Numbers and readings appeared beside it. Our world orbits a G-type star, Jiho explained. Surface gravity is 1.0 G. Atmospheric composition is 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. A strange sound rippled through the chamber. It took Jiho a moment to realize what it was. Laughter. The aliens were laughing. 21% oxygen? A crystalline being called out. That is not possible for a habitable world. Such concentration would make everything burn. The reading is correct, Hana said firmly. She displayed more data. Earth's atmosphere has maintained this level for millions of years. More laughter. Jiho felt his jaw tighten but kept his face calm. Ven raised a hand for quiet. Continue, please. Jiho nodded to Hana. She brought up new images. Earth's weather systems appeared, showing massive spiral storms over the oceans. Our world experiences regular weather patterns. Wind speeds can reach 300 kilometers per hour during storm events. The laughter stopped. Now there were gasps. 300? A small, furry alien squeaked. That would destroy buildings. Tear apart landscapes, it does, Taiyang said. His deep voice carried clearly. Regularly. We rebuilt. The hologram changed again. It showed Earth's tectonic plates, the red lines of volcanic zones, the points where earthquakes happen most often. Our planet's surface is broken into moving plates, Jiho continued. This creates frequent seismic activity and volcanic eruptions. We have approximately 1,500 active volcanoes. Impossible, someone shouted. No species could develop civilization in such conditions. Hana pulled up the next data set. Earth contains an estimated 8.7 million species. Many of them are predatory. The food chain exists in multiple layers with apex predators in nearly every environment. The hologram showed images now. A great white shark, a saltwater crocodile, a Bengal tiger, a grizzly bear. For each one, Hana listed the statistics. Size, bite force, hunting patterns. These creatures share the planet with humans? Ven asked. His voice had changed. The amusement was gone. Yes, Jiho said simply. And approximately 47,000 species of spiders. 2,300 species of snakes, many venomous. Countless insects that carry diseases. An alien near the front stood up quickly. It was Ilix, the Council's chief archivist. Its body was made of vapor, held in shape by an energy field. Council members, I must speak. The human data matches descriptions from the ancient texts, the forbidden archives, the Deathworld myths. Murmurs spread through the chamber like wildfire. Deathworld legends are children's stories, Ven said. But his voice was uncertain now. Planets so hostile that evolution becomes a weapon, where survival itself requires constant battle. These are myths. They cannot be real. I assure you, Speaker Ven, Earth is very real, Jiho said. 8 billion humans live there. We have cities, culture, art, and music. We have families and farms and schools. This is simply our home. Ilix's vapor form swirled with agitation. The gravity alone, 1.0 G, is crushing for most species. And you say this is normal for you? We were born in it, Hana said. We grew up in it. Our bodies adapted over millions of years. Show us your people, demanded a delegate from the middle rows. Show us how humans look. Hana hesitated, glancing at Jiho. He nodded. She pulled up images of humans. Athletes running. Construction workers carrying materials. Parents holding children. Soldiers in training. The chamber went very quiet. They have binocular vision, someone whispered. Forward-facing eyes. That is predator evolution. And they stand upright on 2 legs, another added. Built for pursuit. Look at their teeth, a third voice said. Incisors for tearing, molars for grinding. They eat both plants and meat. Jiho could feel the mood in the room shifting. What had started as amusement was becoming something else. Fear, perhaps, or at least deep concern. Ven called for order. Enough. We will vote on Earth's classification. The preliminary assessment suggested Class 3 habitable, a garden world suitable for colonization and tourism. Does anyone dispute this classification? I do, Illich said immediately. The data suggests something far more dangerous. The data suggests the humans exaggerate, Ven replied. It is common for new species to inflate their homeworld's dangers. Pride, perhaps, or a desire to seem impressive. Jiho felt his temper rise but pushed it down. Speaker Ven, we have not exaggerated anything. Every measurement, every reading, every image is accurate. If anything, we have shown you only the gentlest parts of our world. The gentlest parts? Ven laughed, and others joined him. Then you are indeed skilled storytellers, Commander Jiho. I request a formal investigation, Jiho said loudly. Send a team to Earth, see for yourselves. We will welcome them and show them the truth of our world. The council members talked among themselves. Finally, Ven spoke. Very well. We will send a research expedition to Earth. They will verify your claims and provide an accurate assessment. Until then, Earth will be classified as Class 3 habitable. But Speaker, Hana began. The decision is made, Ven said firmly. This session is concluded. The hologram disappeared. The lights came back up fully. Around them, aliens began filing out of the chamber. Many were still laughing. Some were shaking their heads. Jiho turned to his crew. Hana looked frustrated. Taeyang looked angry. They will not laugh when they see Earth, Taeyang muttered. No, Jiho agreed quietly. They will not. Hana put away her tablet. When should we expect the research team? Soon, I imagine, Jiho said. He looked up at the departing council members. They think this is all a joke. They think we are trying to impress them with tall tales. Should we warn them? Hana asked. About what they will actually face? Jiho smiled, but it was not a happy expression. We tried. They did not listen. Sometimes the best teacher is experience. As they left the great hall, Jiho thought about his home. He thought about summer thunderstorms and winter blizzards. He thought about the mountains and oceans. He thought about all the beautiful, terrible things that made Earth what it was. The galaxy was about to learn a very important lesson. Humans did not come from a paradise. They came from a crucible. And that made all the difference. 3 weeks after the council meeting, a research vessel arrived at Earth's solar system. The ship was called the Wandering Eye, and it carried representatives from 6 different species. Each one was an expert in planetary classification. Each one was certain the humans had exaggerated their homeworld's conditions. Commander Jiho's ship, the Morning Star, waited in orbit around Earth to escort them. Hana stood on the bridge watching the alien vessel approach. It was beautiful in its own way, all smooth curves and glowing panels. It looked nothing like the angular, practical human ships. They are hailing us, the communications officer said. Put them through, Jiho ordered. The main screen flickered. A face appeared, or what passed for a face. The expedition leader was a Valoric named Shen. His species looked like tall, thin plants with multiple eye stalks. He breathed methane instead of oxygen and lived in gravity that humans would barely feel. Commander Jiho, Shen said. His voice came through the translator as calm and slightly amused. We are ready to begin our survey. We will start with orbital scans, then proceed to surface landing. Understood, Jiho said. We recommend landing at our research facility in the southern peninsula. The location is stable and we have prepared accommodations for your team. Stable. Shen's eye stalks waved. Commander, please. We are scientists. We can handle whatever your Class 3 garden world presents. Hana caught Jiho's eye. Neither of them said anything. Very well, Jiho replied. We will transmit the coordinates. Welcome to Earth. The Wandering Eye moved into a lower orbit. Hana watched the sensor displays as the alien ship began its scans. She could imagine what they were seeing. The vast blue oceans, the white clouds, the green and brown land masses. From space, Earth looked peaceful. Then the ship's alarms began sounding. What is happening? Shen's voice came over the comm, no longer calm. Our sensors are showing massive atmospheric disturbances. A rotating storm system covering thousands of kilometers. Yes, Hana said. That is Typhoon Sora. It formed 2 days ago in the western Pacific Ocean. This storm is larger than some of our moons, another voice said. This was Krelix, the crystalline observer from a tidally locked world. How do you survive such a thing? We track it, Hana explained. We evacuate people from its path. We build our structures to withstand the winds. It is just weather. Just weather, Krelix repeated, sounding stunned. The scans continued. Hana listened to the alien scientists talking among themselves, their voices growing more agitated by the minute. The volcanic activity. Readings must be wrong, one said. These tectonic movements would tear apart our homeworlds. Another added, I am detecting millions of species. Signatures. A third voice chimed in. The biodiversity is beyond our classification scales. Shen came back on the main channel. Commander Jiho, we are proceeding to the landing site. However, I must note that these readings are highly unusual for a Class 3 world. We tried to tell you, Jiho said simply. The wandering eye descended through the atmosphere. Even this was an ordeal. The ship shook as it hit air currents. The aliens had never experienced real weather before. Their worlds were calm, stable, predictable. Earth was none of these things. They landed at the research facility near Busan. It was a clear day, warm and bright. Jiho and his crew were waiting on the landing pad when the alien ship touched down. The boarding ramp extended. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then slowly, carefully, the alien delegation emerged. Shen came first, enclosed in a mobile environmental suit. His methane atmosphere glowed faintly inside the transparent bubble. He took one step down the ramp and his legs buckled. The gravity, he gasped. It is crushing me. 2 human technicians rushed forward to help. They carried support frames designed for low-gravity species. Shen gratefully accepted one, and it took most of the weight off his legs. 1.0 G is standard for us, Hana said gently. Your species evolved at 0.6 G. This would be like us trying to walk on a planet with nearly twice our normal gravity. You live your entire lives like this? Shen asked in disbelief. We do, Hana confirmed. The rest of the delegation came down more carefully. Krelix, the crystalline being, managed better. His species was denser, more solid, but even he moved slowly, adjusting to the weight. The aquatic delegate, Murin, floated in a water-filled mobility sphere. She seemed most comfortable until a gust of wind hit the landing pad. Her sphere rolled slightly and she let out a cry of alarm. What was that force? She demanded. Wind, Taeyang said. He stood nearby, arms crossed, watching the aliens struggle. Moving air. We get it every day. But it pushed me, Murin said. How do you anchor yourselves? We are strong enough, Taeyang replied. It was not a boast, just a fact. They moved the delegation inside the research facility. It was temperature-controlled, quiet and secure. The aliens seemed to relax a little. We will rest briefly, then begin our surface studies, Shen announced. But rest did not come easily. Within an hour, 2 of the delegates were in medical isolation. They had been exposed to Earth's microbial life. The common bacteria that humans lived with every day were attacking the aliens' immune systems. How do you survive with such aggressive microorganisms? The Valoric medical officer asked Hana in shock. Our immune systems fight them constantly, Hana explained. From the moment we are born. It makes us stronger. Or it kills you, the medic said. Sometimes, Hana admitted, but we have learned to treat most infections. And those of us who survive build immunity. The word survive seemed to echo in the room. The next morning, the delegation insisted on going outside. They wanted to see Earth's nature. Hana arranged a visit to a local botanical garden. She thought it would be safe. She was wrong. The garden was beautiful, full of flowers and trees. But the aliens saw something different. They saw plants with thorns, vines that climbed and grabbed, flowers that attracted insects. These life forms are mobile, Krelix observed, watching a sunflower track the sun's movement. They follow the light source. Plants do that, Hana said. It helps them grow. On our worlds, plants stay still, Krelix replied. They do not move. Movement means predation. One of the smaller delegates, a curious creature named Pip, reached out to touch a rose. Despite Hana's warning, his protective suit's glove brushed the stem. The thorn punctured the material. Alarms blared from Pip's suit. The delegation erupted in panic. Human medical teams rushed in. They sealed the puncture and replaced the air filter, but Pip was shaking with fear. "A plant attacked me," he kept saying. "A plant." "Roses have thorns to protect themselves," Hannah tried to explain. "They are defensive, not aggressive." "Your plants need defenses?" Shen asked. "What are they defending against?" "Everything," Taeyang said. He had accompanied the group for security. "Animals eat plants, so plants evolve defenses. Thorns, poison, tough bark. Everything here fights to survive." The delegation cut their garden visit short. They returned to the facility. But there was no escape from Earth's nature. That afternoon, thunder rumbled in the distance. "What is that sound?" Murin asked, her aquatic form trembling in her sphere. "A thunderstorm is coming," Hannah said. "It should pass in a few hours." "Should?" Krelix asked. "You are uncertain?" "Weather is hard to predict exactly," Hannah admitted. "We can make good guesses, but storms sometimes change direction or intensity." The aliens watched from the facility windows as the storm approached. They saw the dark clouds build. They felt the air pressure drop. Then the lightning came, brilliant white streaks across the sky. The thunder followed, loud enough to rattle the windows. 3 delegates retreated to interior rooms. They could not handle the noise and light. One fainted from shock. "This happens regularly?" Shen asked. He was watching the storm with all his eye stalks, unable to look away. "During storm season, yes," Hannah said. "Sometimes multiple times per day." The rain came next, pouring down in sheets. The aliens stared at the water falling from the sky like they were seeing a miracle and a nightmare combined. "Your atmosphere leaks," Murin whispered. "It is part of the water cycle," Hannah explained. "The ocean evaporates, forms clouds, and falls as rain. Then it flows back to the ocean. It has been happening for billions of years." That night, the delegation held an emergency meeting. Jiho was called in. He found them in the conference room, looking exhausted and frightened. "Commander," Shen said, "we need to leave Earth immediately." "The typhoon is blocking your flight path," Jiho said. "You cannot launch safely for at least 3 more days." 3 days? Shen's eye stalks drooped. "We must survive here for 3 more days?" "We will keep you safe," Jiho promised. "But yes, 3 days minimum." The delegates looked at each other. They looked at the windows where rain still fell. They looked at the human commander who stood calm and healthy in conditions that were slowly breaking them. "Your preliminary report," Jiho said carefully. "What will it say?" Shen was quiet for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was different. The amusement was completely gone. Now there was only respect and a little fear. "It will say that humans did not exaggerate. It will say that Earth is not a Class 3 world. It will say that we need to reclassify everything we thought we knew about habitable planets. And it will say that humans are the strongest species we have ever encountered." Jiho nodded slowly. "We tried to tell you at the council." The 3 days stretched like an eternity for the alien delegation. Every moment on Earth brought a new horror, or at least what they perceived as horror. To the humans around them, it was just another normal day. On the second morning, Security Chief Taeyang made a mistake. He thought he was being helpful. He invited the alien security detail to join him for what he called a light morning exercise. 2 of them accepted. They would later call it the worst decision of their lives. Taeyang began with stretches. The aliens managed those, though their suits made movement awkward. Then he started jogging. Just a gentle run around the facility's outer track. 3 kilometers at an easy pace. The alien guards lasted less than 5 minutes. "Commander Taeyang," one gasped through his translator. "Please stop, cannot breathe." Taeyang stopped immediately, concerned. "Are your suits malfunctioning? Should I call medical?" "No," the guard wheezed. "Your gravity, your pace. It is too much." Taeyang looked confused. He was not even sweating. His breathing was normal. He was carrying a 20-kilogram equipment pack and had barely noticed the weight. "This is 0.7 G equivalent for us," the second guard said. She had collapsed to her knees. "You are running uphill," while carrying massive weight. "And you call this light?" "Oh," Taeyang said, understanding dawning. "I am sorry, I forgot. This is normal for me." He helped them back to the facility. Later, Hannah found him in his office looking at a data comparison chart. He was analyzing the physical capabilities of different species. "Did you know," he said without looking up, "that human muscle density is 3 times higher than the galactic average?" And our bone structure can handle impacts that would shatter most species. I did not, Hana replied. But it makes sense. Earth is heavy. We had to be strong to survive here. It is more than that, Taeyang continued. He pulled up another screen. Look at this. Human cardiovascular systems. We have this thing called persistence hunting. We chase prey until it dies of exhaustion. We can run for hours, days even if we train for it. That sounds like a predator ability, Hana said quietly. It is, Taeyang agreed. We are predators, Hana. I never thought about it before. But that is what we are. That afternoon, Hana tried to make amends for Taeyang's exercise incident. She invited the science delegation to a safe location, a botanical garden inside a controlled dome. No weather, no thorns, just pretty flowers under glass. She had forgotten about the insects. The delegation walked through the dome carefully. They were starting to relax when a butterfly landed on Krelix's sensor array. The crystalline being froze in terror. It touched me, he whispered. The flying creature touched me. It is just a butterfly, Hana assured him. It is harmless. It drinks nectar from flowers. It has been weaponized, Krelix said, examining the butterfly through his sensors. Look at its structure. Compound eyes for 360-degree vision, flexible wings for rapid maneuvering, proboscis for penetrating plant matter. It sips nectar, Hana repeated. It does not even have a mouth that can bite. But the damage was done. The delegation was now watching every insect with suspicion. A bee flew past and 3 aliens ducked. A ladybug crawled on a leaf and someone screamed. You share your world with millions of these flying things? Shen asked. Billions, Hana corrected. Maybe trillions. We do not have an exact count. And they do not bother you? Sometimes they do, Hana admitted. Mosquitoes bite us. Wasps sting. But mostly we coexist. They pollinate our crops. They are part of the ecosystem. Mosquitoes bite you? Murin echoed. And you allow this? We try to prevent it, Hana said. But Earth is their home too. We cannot eliminate them without damaging the food chain. The delegation left the dome early. Again. Back in the conference room, they began analyzing human biology in detail. What they found disturbed them more than anything else they had seen. Shen called Jiho and Hana to present their findings. We have been studying your species, Shen began. The data is remarkable and terrifying. He displayed a hologram of the human body. Red lights began highlighting different systems. First, redundancy. You have 2 kidneys when one is sufficient. Your liver can regenerate if partially destroyed. You have 2 lungs, 2 brain hemispheres that can partially compensate if one is damaged. Even your heart has backup pathways for blood flow. Is that unusual? Jiho asked. Most species have single vital organs, Krelix explained. If one fails, we die. You built backups into your own biology. The hologram changed, showing the circulatory system. Second, blood volume. You can lose up to 40% of your blood and survive with treatment. Some species die from losing 10%. Hana shifted uncomfortably. She had never thought of these things as special. They were just how humans worked. Third, skeletal structure. The bones lit up now. When you break a bone, it heals stronger than before. The fracture site becomes reinforced. Your body treats injury as data and improves itself. Fourth, muscular system. Your muscles tear during exercise and rebuild larger. You literally damage yourselves to become stronger. Taeyang smiled slightly at that one. That is how we train. It is insane, Shen said flatly. Your bodies are designed to improve through trauma. Fifth, immune system. You are constantly at war with microscopic life. Your bodies maintain permanent military forces in your blood. You have memory cells that remember every infection and prepare for the next one. The hologram showed white blood cells attacking bacteria. The aliens watching seemed mesmerized and horrified in equal measure. Sixth, temperature regulation. You leak your internal fluids through your skin to cool down. You call it sweating. It is the most efficient cooling system we have ever documented. It allows you to run for hours without overheating. Seventh, pain tolerance. You have nerve endings throughout your body. But your brains can suppress pain signals when necessary. You can function through injuries that would incapacitate other species. The list continued. Binocular vision for depth perception. Opposable thumbs for tool use. Upright posture for endurance travel. Digestive systems that could process both plants and meat. You are apex predators, Krelix concluded. Every system in your body is optimized for hunting and survival. You are built to outlast everything else on your planet. The room was silent. Finally, Jiho spoke. We never thought of it that way. We are just humans. This is just how we are. That, Shen said, is perhaps the most frightening part. You do not realize how dangerous you are. The meeting was interrupted by a commotion outside, human voices laughing and calling out. The delegation looked out the window to see a group of humans playing in the courtyard. Among them was a small child, maybe 8 years old. Who is that young one? Mirren asked. That is Dai, Hana said. He is the son of one of our technicians. He comes here after school sometimes. They watched as Dai climbed a tree. He was fast and confident, moving from branch to branch with no fear. Then, near the top, he slipped. The aliens gasped as the child fell. Dai dropped 3 meters and hit the ground with a thud. The delegation was already reaching for emergency communication devices when the impossible happened. Dai sat up. He looked at his scraped elbow, wiped the blood on his shirt, and laughed. Then he ran back to the tree and started climbing again. Call medical, Shen ordered. That child needs immediate attention. For what? Taiyang asked. He had walked over to see what the noise was about. He just scraped his elbow. He fell 3 meters, Krelik said. The impact should have shattered his skeletal structure. He is a kid, Taiyang said with a shrug. Kids fall all the time. He will have a bruise tomorrow and a story to tell his friends. A woman came running across the courtyard. Dai's mother, Yuna. The aliens expected her to be panicked. Instead, she just sighed. Dai, be more careful, she called. If you break your arm again, you will be in a cast for weeks. Again? Mirren whispered. This has happened before? He broke his arm last year, Hana said. Fell off his bicycle. The bone healed in 6 weeks. He was playing soccer again 2 months later. The delegation watched as Yuna cleaned Dai's scrape with water from a bottle. No medical equipment. No emergency protocols. Just water and a simple bandage. Then the child ran off to play some more. Your children are indestructible, Shen said slowly. They are not, Jiho corrected. They can be hurt. They can die. But yes, they are resilient. They have to be. They are growing up on Earth. That evening, the delegation compiled their observations. They cross-referenced human physical capabilities with galactic averages. The comparison was stark. Strength, 200% above average. Endurance, 300% above average. Pain tolerance, 400% above average. Healing speed, 250% above average. Adaptability, off the scale. Humans lived in deserts, Arctic zones, jungles, mountains, and underwater habitats. No other species could claim such range. We need to send a priority message to the Council, Shen said. Earth is not a Class 3 world. I am not certain what class it is, but it is far beyond our normal categories. What will you recommend? Jiho asked. He had been invited to their final evening meeting. Shen's eye stalks all focused on the human commander. I will recommend immediate reclassification. I will recommend that humans be granted special status in the Council. And I will recommend that every species representative watch our documentation of this visit. The footage from Earth spread across the galactic network like fire in dry grass. Within days, billions of beings had watched the alien delegation's documentation. They saw the storms. They saw the predators. They saw little Dai fall from a tree and laugh it off. They saw humans jogging in gravity that would crush most species. The reactions ranged from disbelief to terror. At Horizon 7 Station, the Council called an emergency session. But before that happened, something else occurred, something unexpected. The scholars began to dig. In the Grand Archive, a human historian named Yuna worked late into the night. She had been assigned to the archive 2 years ago, as part of humanity's integration program. She was young, brilliant, and possessed a gift for finding connections others missed. The Deathworld legends had always fascinated her. Every galactic civilization had them. Stories passed down from ancient times. Tales of planets so hostile that merely surviving there would make a species unstoppable. Tales of creatures built for battle. Tales of worlds that forged their inhabitants like metal in a furnace. Now watching the footage from Earth, Yuna realized something. She began pulling up every Deathworld myth she could find. There were hundreds of them, scattered across dozens of civilizations. Most were different, but some themes repeated. She made a list. The legend of the pursuit predators, found in 14 different cultures. Stories of creatures that never stopped chasing their prey. They ran slower than their targets, but never tired. They followed for days until their prey collapsed from exhaustion. Yuna pulled up human data. Persistence hunting. Humans could run for hours. Some trained individuals could run for days. The legend matched the legend of the healing warriors, found in 23 cultures. Stories of beings that grew stronger when injured. Break their bones and those bones would mend harder. Tear their flesh and it would close tougher. Human data confirmed it. Bones healed with increased calcium deposits. Scar tissue was denser than normal skin. The legend matched again. The legend of the toxin breathers, found in 9 cultures. Stories of species that breathed corrosive gas, the very substance that caused fires. Their atmosphere would kill normal life in minutes. Earth's atmosphere, 21% oxygen. The same oxygen that made combustion possible. The legend matched once more. Yuna worked faster now. Her fingers flew across her data tablet. She pulled up legend after legend. The legend of the adaptive survivors, found in 17 cultures. Stories of beings that could live anywhere. Frozen wastes, burning deserts, deep waters, high mountains. No environment could stop them. Humans lived on every continent of Earth, in the Arctic, in the Sahara, on Everest, underwater habitats, space stations. The legend matched. The legend of the pack hunters, found in 31 cultures. Stories of social predators with forward-facing eyes. They hunted in coordinated groups, communicating with complex language. They were more dangerous together than apart. Human social structure. Binocular vision, military tactics, team sports. The legend matched perfectly. By dawn, Yuna had compiled 47 different Deathworld legends. 39 of them matched human characteristics. The correlation was impossible to ignore. But that was not the most disturbing part. The most disturbing part was what she found when she looked at the age of these legends. The oldest ones dated back thousands of years. Before faster-than-light travel. Before the Galactic Council. Before any of the current civilizations had met each other. The legends existed across species that had never had contact with each other, which meant only one thing. These were not myths. They were memories. Ancient spacefaring civilizations had encountered Deathworld species before, and they had been so traumatized by the experience that they passed down warnings for thousands of years. Yuna sent her findings to Commander Jiho immediately. Then she did something bold. She sent them to the entire council as well, with a single question attached. If every civilization has Deathworld legends and all of them describe humans, what happened to the other Deathworld species? The question echoed through the halls of power. Scholars everywhere began investigating, and they found their answer in the deepest, oldest archives. The forbidden sections that most people never accessed. There had been other Deathworld species, 7 of them across galactic history. All had developed space travel. All had been remarkably powerful. And all had died out within a few generations of reaching the stars. 6 had destroyed themselves in wars. Their warrior instincts, so useful for surviving their homeworlds, turned inward when there were no more threats to fight. They conquered their planets and then turned on each other. One had been quarantined by the ancient galactic powers. Their presence was too destabilizing, too dangerous. They had been contained on their world until they finally went extinct. None had joined galactic civilization peacefully. None had integrated. None had contributed anything but fear and violence. Until now. Jiho read Yuna's report in his quarters aboard the Morning Star. Hana and Taiyang were with him. All 3 were silent for a long time. They think we will follow the same path, Hana finally said. They think we will destroy ourselves or become conquerors. Perhaps, Jiho agreed. But we have something the others did not. What? Taiyang asked. Time, Jiho said. We have had thousands of years to learn from our own history. We have had wars. Terrible ones. Wars that killed millions. But we survived them. We learned. We built the United Earth Alliance not because we were forced to, but because we chose to. Will that be enough to convince them? Hana wondered. I do not know, Jiho admitted. But we have to try. At the Grand Archive, Yuna was having a similar conversation with her supervisor, an ancient being named Keeper Vros. Vros had maintained the archives for 200 years. He knew secrets that most beings would never imagine. You have found the pattern, Vros said. It was not a question. I have, Yuna confirmed. Every Deathworld legend describes humans, but that means there were other Deathworld species before us. What happened to them? They failed the test, Vros said simply. What test? The test of choice. Ross moved to a window overlooking the station. Stars glittered in the darkness beyond. Power without wisdom is destruction. Strength without compassion is tyranny. Every Deathworld species before yours had the power to survive anything. But they lacked something crucial. What? Una asked. The desire for peace, Ross replied. Deathworld evolution creates warriors. But warriors need enemies. When those enemies are gone, they turn on each other or on everyone around them. It is inevitable. Humans have enemies, Una said quietly. We have faced our own darkness many times. Yes, Ross agreed. But you also have something else. I have studied your species since you arrived at the council. I have read your literature, your poetry, your philosophy. Do you know what I found? Una shook her head. Hope, Ross said. Humans have hope. You have endured ice ages, plagues, wars, natural disasters. You have faced extinction events. And each time you rebuilt. Each time you chose to continue. Not out of stubbornness, though you have plenty of that, but out of genuine belief that tomorrow can be better than today. Is that so unusual? Una asked. It is unheard of in Deathworld species, Ross said. The others gave up. They saw only threats and responded with violence. You see threats and respond with tools, with cooperation, with innovation. You domesticated wolves into dogs. You turned predators into companions. That is not a Deathworld species behavior. That is something new. Una looked out at the stars as well. So what happens now? Now, Ross said, the council must decide. Are humans another failed Deathworld species waiting to collapse? Or are you something different? Something that might change the galaxy? Across the station, Commander Jiho received a summons. The council would convene in 2 days. Earth's classification would be decided. And more than that, humanity's place in the galaxy would be determined. Jiho gathered his crew. He reviewed all the data. He watched the footage from the expedition. He read Una's report about the ancient Deathworld species, and he prepared his response. They are afraid of us, Hana said, and maybe they should be. We are dangerous. Yes, Jiho agreed, but we choose what we do with that danger. That is what makes us different. Will they believe that? Taeyang asked. I do not know, Jiho said honestly, but I will show them something. I will show them that humans are not just survivors. We are builders. We are dreamers. We are teachers and students and parents and children. We are everything that makes life worth living, not just fighting for. He pulled up images from Earth, not the storms or predators, different images. A father teaching his daughter to ride a bicycle, musicians performing in a concert hall, doctors treating patients, teachers in classrooms, farmers in fields, artists creating sculptures, engineers designing bridges. This is humanity, Jiho said. We survived a Deathworld, but we did not let it make us into monsters. We chose to be more. The next day, Una sent Jiho one more piece of information. She had been analyzing Earth's history in detail, specifically humanity's treatment of other species. Commander, she wrote, I found something important. In your planet's history, humans drove many species to extinction. Over 800 documented cases. For millions of years, humans were apex predators with no regard for other life. But then something changed. The council chamber was more crowded than anyone had ever seen it. Every species sent representatives. Even civilizations that normally ignored council business were present. The fate of humanity was not just political. It was existential. A Deathworld species stood at the gates of galactic civilization. History said this ended in blood. But history had been wrong before. Commander Jiho walked to the central platform with his crew. Hana carried data files. Taeyang walked with military precision. Behind them, Una joined as the archive's official witness. All 4 humans wore their formal uniforms, dark blue with Earth's symbol on the shoulder, a simple circle of blue and green. The chamber quieted. Thousands of eyes, lenses, sensors, and awareness fields focused on them. Speaker Ven rose from his seat. His 6 arms gestured formally. The council recognizes Commander Jiho of Earth. The matter before us is grave. We have received the expedition report. We have reviewed the documentation. We have consulted the ancient archives. Earth's classification must be decided. More importantly, humanity's place among us must be determined. Commander Jiho, Ven continued, the evidence is clear. Your world matches every Deathworld legend in our history. Your species possesses capabilities that we find terrifying. 7 Deathworld species have risen before you. All failed to integrate peacefully. All became threats to themselves or others. Why should we believe humans will be different? The chamber erupted in voices. Some called for immediate quarantine. Others demanded restricted contact. A few brave souls argued for cautious integration. None argued for full acceptance. Jiho waited for silence. When it came, he spoke clearly. Because we have already made our choice. And we chose you. Confusion rippled through the chamber. Explain, Ven demanded. Jiho nodded to Hana. She activated the holographic display. Images appeared above them. Not storms or predators. Something different. This is Dr. Quan Minji, Jiho said. The image showed a woman in a laboratory. She spent 20 years developing a vaccine for valoric wasting disease. A disease that affects only valorics, not humans. She will never profit from this work. She did it because she believed your species deserved to live free from suffering. The valoric delegation shifted in their seats. They knew of Dr. Quan. Her work had saved millions of their people. The image changed. This is Engineer Park Kyung. He designed water purification systems for the crystalline colonies. Systems that work with crystal-based chemistry, which is completely different from our own. He studied for 5 years to understand your biology. He did it for free. The crystalline observers glowed brighter. They recognized the name. This is Teacher Cho Sora. She learned 6 alien languages and taught human children about galactic cultures. She wanted the next generation to grow up understanding you, respecting you, being friends with you. More images. More names. Doctors who studied alien biology. Engineers who designed for alien needs. Artists who created works celebrating alien cultures. Diplomats who spent decades building relationships. Scientists who shared research freely. Merchants who traded fairly. For 20 years, Jiho said, since we first made contact, humans have been choosing to help you, to learn from you, to build with you. Not because we needed to. Earth is self-sufficient. We have everything we need. We chose to join the galaxy because we wanted to be part of something larger than ourselves. Words, someone shouted from the upper levels. Deathworld species always seem peaceful at first. Then their nature emerges. Then let me show you our nature, Jiho replied. He signaled Hana again. The hologram changed to show Earth's history. But not the wars or disasters. Different moments. This is the year 1854 Earth calendar, Jiho narrated. A human doctor named John Snow discovered how disease spread through water. He could have kept this knowledge secret, used it for advantage. Instead, he published it freely and saved millions of lives. The year 1928. A human named Alexander Fleming discovered antibiotics by accident. He could have become wealthy beyond measure. Instead, he refused to patent it. He said healing should belong to everyone. The year 1983. A human named Stanislav Petrov had the power to start a global nuclear war. His orders said to launch weapons. His training said to obey. Instead, he chose to trust his instincts and prevented the war. He was punished for it by his government. He never regretted his choice. Image after image, moment after moment, humans choosing compassion over profit, choosing peace over power, choosing to help instead of harm. This is who we are, Jiho said quietly. Yes, we are from a death world. Yes, we are dangerous. But we learned something that the other death world species never did. We learned that the strongest thing you can do is choose to be gentle. Taeyang stepped forward. The security chief's presence was imposing. He looked exactly like what he was, a warrior. I can kill with my bare hands, he said bluntly. Most humans can. We are built for violence. Earth made sure of that. But violence is easy. Any fool can destroy. Building, protecting, that takes real strength. He pulled up his own file. I have served in Earth's military for 15 years. I have fought in conflicts. I have seen war. And I learned that the bravest thing a soldier can do is make war unnecessary. That is why I became a diplomat's bodyguard. Because protecting people as they talk is more important than fighting. Yuna came forward next. I have studied your histories, she said. Every civilization here has had wars. Every species has fought for resources, territory, survival. Humans are not unique in being dangerous. We are unique in something else. She displayed her research. Humans have 847 words for love across our languages. We have over 1,000 words for friendship. We name our emotions with precision because we value them. We write poetry about peace. We create art celebrating unity. We tell stories where compassion defeats violence. The ancient Deathworld species. Yuna continued. I could find almost no art from them. No poetry, no songs about peace. They had words for victory, for conquest, for strength, but not for hope, not for tomorrow being better. Humans have always believed tomorrow can be better. Even on Earth, especially on Earth, we had to believe it or we would have given up. Hana spoke last. You are afraid we will become conquerors, that we will use our strength against you. I understand. But consider this. Humans have had weapons that could destroy our entire world for over 80 years. We have never used them. Not once since we learned what they truly cost. She pulled up footage of human cities. We share our planet with 8 billion people. Hundreds of cultures. Thousands of languages. Different beliefs, different values, different ways of life. We argue, we disagree. Sometimes we fight. But mostly, we live together. We trade, we talk, we marry across cultures. We blend our differences into something new. If we can do that on a death world, Hana said, imagine what we can do out here, among the stars. The chamber was silent. Jiho looked up at Speaker Ven. You asked why you should believe we are different. I cannot prove the future to you, but I can show you our choice. 20 years ago, we could have hidden what Earth was. We could have lied about our capabilities. We could have made ourselves seem weaker, less threatening. We did not. We told you the truth. We showed you everything. We invited you to inspect our world. We welcomed your scrutiny because we want to be part of this community honestly, as equals, as friends, as allies. The ancient Deathworld species failed because they saw everyone as either prey or competitor, Jiho continued. We see you as neighbors, as partners, as people we want to know and work with and learn from. That is our choice. That is our nature now, Ven stood. The council will deliberate. Commander Jiho, please wait outside. The 4 humans left the chamber. They waited in an anteroom, not speaking. The deliberation took hours. Through the walls they could hear raised voices, arguments, debates. The fate of humanity hung in balance. Finally, they were called back. The chamber felt different now. The anger had drained away, replaced by something else. Uncertainty, perhaps, or maybe cautious hope. Commander Jiho, Ven began. The Council has reached a decision. Earth is hereby officially reclassified as Class 12 Deathworld. This classification has not been used in 4,000 years. It denotes a planet so hostile that survival itself becomes warfare. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Jiho stood straight, accepting the judgment. However, Ven continued, the Council recognizes that classification describes Earth, not humanity. You are correct. You have made a choice. You have chosen to reach beyond your world with open hands instead of closed fists. You have chosen to help instead of harm. You have chosen to build instead of destroy. Therefore, humanity is granted full membership in the Galactic Council, not as a probationary species, not as a restricted member, full membership with all rights and responsibilities. Surprise rippled through the chamber. Some delegates stood to protest. Others stood to applaud. Most simply sat in stunned silence. Furthermore, Ven said, raising his voice, the Council recognizes that humanity possesses unique capabilities that the galaxy needs. We propose the Deathworld Integration Protocol. Humans will train emergency response teams. Humans will provide security consultation. Humans will lead exploration missions into dangerous territories. You will do what no other species can do easily.